This is the old rail line. There's stonework right there. Oh yeah, there's even steel right here. Steel anchor bolts coming out of this. Back in the day, something was here. I wonder if there was a bridge. This would be a great spot to do some train watching. I recently discovered some new trails I'd never been on before, and I'm pretty curious about where they go. I was also asked to review this Moto e-bike, so I figured we can achieve two goals at once. We're gonna find out where these trails go, see if we find anything, and also learn about what this bike has to offer and see how it performs. So if you're ready, come along with me and let's get exploring. What I'm riding on is the Jasion Patrol Moto e-bike. Now Jasion may sound familiar. I've worked with them in the past reviewing their e-bikes. This is a Moto e-bike, and first impressions, this thing seems pretty awesome. But I really want to put it through its paces, so from here on out, this is unknown territory to me. I do know the area, but I don't know where these trails go, don't know what we're going to encounter. But before we explore the trails and see how this bike performs, let's first find out what this bike has to offer. Yellow and black, it's almost like Bumblebee or Pittsburgh colors. So for starters, the heart and soul of this bike is the battery system. This is a 52 volt, 30 amp hour battery. Now there's no protective covering, it is just right here, but you do have a battery indicator. So if you press that, it does light up, telling you if your battery is charged or if it needs a recharge. To gain access to the battery, this cover pops open, and here you have your charging port, your on-off toggle switch, and your lock for your key to lock, unlock the battery. So if you want to remove the battery, you could take it out, charge it elsewhere. You can also charge it while it's in the bike. But in order to power on the bike, you must make sure that toggle switch is on. Otherwise, you won't have any power at all. Coming over to the controls, we have a display here with 3 buttons. So to power it on, once your toggle switch is on, you long press the M button and you will get a set of zeros asking for a passcode. Now, if you don't want to set a passcode, use your provided NFC card, and it powers on the bike. So it boots up. Top right corner is your battery indicator. You have your power assist level, 0 is no power, and you could go plus to 5, which is max power. Miles per hour, right now it's showing odometer. You can press M to cycle through. Trip, max speed, average speed, voltage, time the bike's been on, back to odometer. If you long press the plus button or headlight icon, all it does is dim the screen for nighttime riding. And if you long press the minus button, that is walking mode. That'll allow you to push the bike and get a little bit of assistance from the motor. Dedicated headlight button right here, so press it on, the headlight does power on. It is a nice bright LED headlight, great for evening, nighttime riding. And electronic horn right here. Right hand side, full twist throttle comes standard. Great to see that, just like a motorcycle should have. Stopping power is front and rear hydraulic disc brakes. We do have front fork suspension. You can lock it out or adjust the compression if you wish to. And for the seat or saddle, nice stitch design on here. It is pretty plush and comfortable. I've had no complaints about the seat. I will give it about a 4.5 out of 5. Although I haven't ridden it more than about 20 minutes so far, it does feel comfortable right out of the gate. So the front does have a nice clean look. All the wiring is protected and covered up behind the number plate and the headlight. Front plastic fender, shock guards. Now that battery does power a 4,000 watt peak power direct drive hub motor, which means the motor is very quiet, pretty much maintenance free, but it has more top end power than low end power. Right here in the back is your tail light combination brake light. So it does light up when the headlight's on and when you are depressing either of the brake levers. And for tires, this rides on knobby tires. Front is a 19-inch, rear is a 17-inch. Tucked away in here is your rear coil suspension. You can adjust that as well for a stiffer or softer ride. And coming down to here, the pedals. This is where people get confused. Why do these bikes have pedals? Well, 2 reasons. But before I explain why, I can tell you this bike has no pedal assistance. So no matter which power assist level you're in, when you pedal, you're pedaling the weight of the bike and yourself. There's no assistance from the motor when you pedal this bike. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be riding this like a traditional e-bike where you get assistance. This is going to be primarily a throttle-only e-bike. So why are the pedals here? Well, if the battery was to die, you can potentially pedal a distance instead of walking it, which could be helpful, but again, no assistance at all. But if you were to be in an area where this is not allowed, say on the street, a rail trail, somewhere typically you shouldn't ride it for any reason, at least you can pedal it to make it look like it's a hybrid e-bike. You won't be such a target as to people with like Sur-Ron bikes or bikes with pegs only. So not intended for street use or rail trails unless permitted in your area. This is going to be a strictly off-road bike, but the pedals are there to kind of confuse people and make them wonder, is that a dirt bike? Is it an e-bike? Well, it's a moto style e-bike. This does weigh in at 115 pounds, has a payload capacity of 330 pounds. Estimated range on a full battery charge is 50 miles. That is of course dependent on the rider's size and the terrain. Realistically, most people should see around 30 to 35 miles. And estimated top speed is 40 miles per hour. And we're gonna find out if it does indeed do that. So, can this bike really do 40 miles an hour? Let's find out right now. So how fast does this thing really go? Let's find out. Power assist 5, full throttle. We're gonna send it both directions, see what our top speed's gonna be. Here we go. 20, 30, 40. So it did indeed hit 40. Now we went downhill a little bit. It went back and forth between 39 and 40, but when I hit 40, I felt it holding back, like restricting, like a governor. So unless you're free coasting, it's not gonna allow it to go faster than 40. So let's turn around. We'll try the other direction one more time. Full throttle, here we go. 20, 30, 40, holding at 40. Yep, so the top speed claims are true, 40 miles per hour. And that's with an individual my size, 5'11", 240 pounds. And again, once you hit 40, you feel holding back. So 40 is all you're gonna get out of this. That's pretty respectable. As you saw, this bike can indeed do 40 miles an hour. So pretty impressive so far. A man of my size, it got to speed pretty quickly. But how's it gonna perform on these trails? Time to find out right now. Now that we got the technical stuff out of the way, it's time to explore and have some fun. So let me tell you about where we are. We are on the border of Dunmore and Scranton, Pennsylvania. So down below us to the right is Roaring Brook. We know that because we've documented it before. The water comes from the Dunmore number 7 reservoir where I was at recently. And that's actually how I found this section of trails. As I was documenting that video, I noticed there's trails on the other side of the river or the creek, and I decided we should find out where they go. And also to point out, this bike does come with some stickers so you can customize. I put one of them right here, it says Chasing the Sun. But it comes with a sheet of stickers. You can put them anywhere on the bike to make it look a little bit different and unique if you wanted to. So I feel that's pretty cool. You can make it stand out from other people who have this bike, since it's a yellow and black bike, which looks good on its own, but you can always make it look a little bit better. So stone wall on the left-hand side. I did investigate this online prior to coming here. This is an abandoned rail line. I don't know, it's either part of the old Erie shop line, where the Erie shops would have been by Naples, or it could have been part of the Laurel line. I'll have to find out more, but an old rail line though did come through here back in the day. So we're gonna see a lot of stonework and an elevated level area up there, which we may explore in the future, maybe closer to winter time. But this road, I think, is an access road for people that work on the billboards along the highway. And we're allowed to be back here. They do stock this Roaring Brook for fishing. So this says fishing is permitted, just no motor vehicles. But people come back here on ATVs, dirt bikes, pedal bikes, and unfortunately to dump as well. Here is a area which looks pretty cool. So the sign, as I mentioned, stocked trout waters. And there's a flattened out area down there, outcropping of bedrock and some graffiti colored rocks. So let's take a walk down there, check that out. All right, so down here people do hang out. Got remnants of a fire. It's a nice big outcropping of bedrock, but a lot of broken glass. There's trash down here too. A lot of trash. But probably a popular fishing area. See, there was the big billboards up there. The nice flowing stream. Garbage, but still a nice area. Nice set of falls down here. And there's a pool of water here. This might be worth investigating in the future. See how deep this is. Either with my 10-foot pole or maybe do some snorkeling. That looks quite nice. I would guess probably at least 8 to 10 feet deep, if not deeper. And it looks like it shallows out over here. But yeah, that's a good sized pool of water. I didn't even know that was down here. If it clears up in the future and the water slows down, I'm not opposed to coming here and snorkeling. Easy access right off the bedrock. This though is what caught my eye. This looks like it's man-made, like partially concrete and stone. That's not natural. So I don't know. Oh yeah, there's even steel right here. Steel anchor bolts coming out of this. Back in the day, something was here. I wonder if there was a bridge. Maybe this could have been like a bridge abutment, like a pedestrian bridge going right across. Possibly. Pretty neat area. I think I may have to return in the future though. I'll keep an eye on this spot. Since we know how to get to it, it's pretty easy. And we can maybe investigate further and find some more clues as to what was going on and some research online through the old maps. The one thing I would like to encounter is a decent sized hill. See how this does on a hill climbing test. So it looks like we got a fork here. Okay, so that's rising in elevation next to the highway. Let's see where this goes. If it's following the water, I think I have an idea where it's going to come out. We had rain yesterday, so a lot of puddles around here, not a surprise. And you will hear a little bit of clanging around. That's the chain tensioner on the bike, the automatic tensioner. It bounces around, so it's pretty normal on bikes. Okay, yeah, I know where we are. We've been here numerous times. So that's Delaware Lackawanna. Pipes coming down beneath it. And water's coming from number 7 reservoir. So if we were to keep going out, this would just bring us up by the tracks. We don't really want to do that. But it's also worth pointing out the stone wall is still here. So it looks like where we might be riding possibly could be part of the old rail line. Yeah, right here. Definite rail bed up there. But on the Rail Guide app, it doesn't show up who it's owned by. It only shows up as abandoned. But through some contacts, I found out it's either part of the Erie Railroad car shops, where this could have been like an extension on one of the tracks here, as there was like a yard there, or it could have been a section of the Laurel line. Okay, back out, we're gonna hang a sharp right, continue upwards. And I've been in Power Assist 3 so far, and it's been doing pretty good. You definitely won't be able to wheelie this bike. There's no bottom end power, not a lot of torque. Okay, I think this is, let's find out. I think this is the rail bed right here. Yep, we're on top of the stone wall. This is a flattened out, cleared out area. No trees right here. This is the old rail line. Okay, at least we know we have access to it. There's stonework right there. Okay, we might be back here in the future in the winter time. And okay, we have a decent hill. I have an idea. Let's see how this bike performs on this hill at the base of it right here. So we're actually going to use this marker right here as our starting point. And what we're going to do is I'm going to set up a camera up there, and you guys will be with me on here. And we're going to start from Power Assist 1, which I know is not going to make it. We're going to keep starting over at this spot and raising the power assist level until we do make it. If it doesn't make it, well, that's a good experiment. I have pretty good confidence in either 4 or 5 this will make it, because it's pretty punchy, pretty juicy in those 2 power assist levels. So let me get it set up and we'll do a little experiment and see if we can indeed climb this hill at the base of it with a 4,000 watt direct drive rear hub motor powered by a 52 volt 30 amp hour battery. This is going to be the hill climb test of the Jasion Patrol. We're going to start right here. Power assist 1, no pedaling, strictly throttle. Here we go. Really slow start. We're slowly accelerating and we stopped accelerating. Come on, can you go any further? Any further? Oh, it's still going. We're creeping by at 4 miles an hour. Hold on tight. Oh boy, we're up to 5. Are we gonna hit 6 miles an hour? We are not, and we're slowing down. And yep, that's it. Honestly, I made it farther than I thought. Just extremely slow pace to get there. Power assist 2, here we go. Okay, a little bit more power. Wow, we're actually at 9-10 miles an hour. A little bit more torque than I thought this was gonna have. Gotta be honest. No way, are we gonna make it? Are we? Gonna make it, gonna make it, gonna make it. Are we gonna make it? We're at 4 miles an hour. We actually made it, holy crap. I never thought I was gonna make it in 1, 2, or 3. So if it'll make it in 2, we know it's gonna make it in 3 or 4. Let's kick it up to 5 and see how it does. This is max power from the base of a hill, throttle only. Okay, feel a little bit of juice there. We're accelerating uphill. 15 miles an hour, 17, 13, but we made it up. This thing really surprised me. It has better torque specs than I realized. The fact that it climbed that from the base, even in power assist 2, I was not expecting that. But now they're on top of the hill. We are here, level with 81 northbound. Look at them a toot. Like southbound's all backed up. Really loud up here though. You know, I've seen people over here before in vehicles and off-road vehicles. I never knew how they got here. Now I know. This is all silt here though. Looks like it may be an old worked mine area. Okay, you might have a trail off to our right. We'll check that. Oh yeah, we'll come back to that. So a big wall on the left-hand side for the highway. Riding on silt piles here. Oh, look at the great view of Delaware Lackawanna tracks. This would be a great spot to do some train watching. I didn't know this was here. Look at that view. I know exactly where that is. That is the bridge, signal bridge. I showed that when I did my video going to the number 7 reservoir, which is just over there around the bend. Well, I have to keep that in mind too for the future. Do some rail fanning right there if I get the schedule, or at least bring my radio. So trail keeps going. Let's see where it goes. I don't know how I didn't know about this area earlier. Turns out I've been knocking on the door the whole time, like my friend Robbie said about a different area. Oh, okay. I think we are forced to turn around. Purple paint right here, and there is a literal barricade going across the road. Wouldn't be surprised if there's trail cams back here. This must be someone's property that at one time this was open. It looks like it's kind of freshly barricaded because it looks like the road is used right through it. This must have happened in the last few months. All right, we're gonna be respectful. We're gonna turn around. But at least we know following it straight along 81 will bring it to a dead end. Okay, this is a pretty steep trail. I can make it down. I know for a fact this bike won't make it up. This is way too steep and I can't get momentum, but it goes right down to the tracks. So if I was to go down, I could cross over the tracks, go to the reservoir. Oh, look at, there's an anchor right here. Got a eye bolt, like eye hook or eyelet, whatever you want to call it. So there's a trail going straight up, closer to the highway. Let's take that. And this bike is handling everything we're throwing at it. Extremely, extremely impressed. So we have another little road here, probably just going to this billboard, but we'll find out. Man, these freaking puddles are everywhere. You know what, I'm not even gonna bother going through it. It dead ends. This is only access for that billboard. And then the exit's right up there for the River Street exit. So if we kept going, it would take us right to the exit. Now we're gonna see where this trail takes us. It's pretty wooded back here. Right over those trees, no problem. Yeah, there is a trail. Drops off on our left-hand side. The rails are down there. And we got a clear-cut area right here to our right. All these trees were logged. I wonder if they're gonna be doing something back here. Oh, someone's been down here. We got a fire ring right here. And our trail is blocked by a downed tree. Can we go upwards? Let's see. I'm surprised this is able to pull me up that hill. Jeez. Okay, so what do we have back here? This might just be a game trail. I don't think this goes anywhere. Actually, no, maybe it does. Yeah, I did pick up some type of trail here. More than a game trail. It's just above the tracks, which are maybe 40, 50 feet away at the most. It's almost like a mountain bike trail or enduro trail. But our mode of transportation is handling it though. Much quieter back here too. Huh. I don't know where we are now. Where are we? That's the question. I know we're down below the billboards. Can we get back to them without turning around? Well, while I try to navigate my way back, I do want to share a couple of the likes about this bike so far. Is that I love the full twist throttle, without a doubt. Operates just like a dirt bike should. Super, super quiet. That direct drive hub motor puts out hardly any sound at all, so very stealthy bike if need be. And surprisingly powerful for the size of the battery and the motor. The fact that it's climbing some fairly steep hills and does indeed do the top speed of 40 miles an hour, that surprises me. So, although the bike's not perfect, it definitely has some things going for it. And I don't know where the heck we're going right now, but I'm just following the trails. This is our whole reason to come out here and explore. So we're gonna get familiar with this area one way or the other, even if it means having to turn around. But I think we're coming down to an area that we know. Oh yeah, we're back here at the wall of Roaring Brook and the train bridge. Okay, so that's another way to access it. So I share my likes. What are my dislikes? Well, there's a couple. The one is the back tire. It's tall enough, but I feel it's too narrow. That's a problem I've seen on a few of these bikes, is that it's a really narrow back tire. It's almost as narrow as the front tire. Plenty of grip, plenty of traction, but for soft material, the bike wants to sink in. So if I had a fatter rear tire, you'd be able to go over a lot looser material and not get stuck or sunk into it. So I'd like to see a wider, fatter tire. With it being a 52 volt, 30 amp hour battery system powering the 4,000 watt hub motor, it's good power to weight ratio, but the range is not that great. Advertised 50 miles. If you got 50, that'd be great. But again, realistically, probably 30 miles. So as long as you're not looking to do all day riding more than that, probably will be adequate. But just keep in mind, if you're in Power Assist 5, just juicing full throttle most of the time, you're not even going to get 30 miles. But if you baby it in Power Assist 1 or 2 and are encountering a lot of hills, you'll easily get 30 miles. The only last real complaint, which is not a complaint, just something I'm noticing, is that the suspension is a bit stiff. Now you can adjust it. I have adjusted it, but I still feel it is a bit stiff. So over certain terrain, you know, I feel a little bit harder than I'd like to, but the suspension is strong enough though to hold a man of my size, which it should. It's a 330 pound payload capacity. So maybe in 240, you still got 90 pounds to go, but I feel the suspension is a tad bit stiff for my liking. I can maybe tweak it a little bit more, but those are my only real complaints. So far though, this is not my first ride on it, but my first real world test of this bike, and I am absolutely loving it. I mean, this is performing better than I thought. I mean, for everything we've done so far, we're still at a full charge in the battery. The display is nice and visible, and I didn't have to change out the throttle or do anything else. So let's have a little bit more fun before we call it quits here, because, well, we got battery, we got trails. Let's enjoy them while we can. Past a couple little jumps. I want to see if we can get some air time. It's two little ones. We should be able to clear them easily. Yep, there's one. There's a bigger one. Whoa! Wheelie right over it. Not too bad. Now that was fun. Boy, if only we could catch a train here, that would be something. I think I'll be coming back to this place more than once. So did I accomplish my 2 goals today? Yes, we definitely did. We got to explore a new trail system, and although it's nothing really spectacular or exciting, it did bring us to some areas that I've never been to before or have only seen from the other side. But the fact that we have a nice viewing area of the rail line, we have a nice bedrock area of a possible swimming hole in the future, and we know there's an old rail line back here. So I think in the future, I'll be back here either to do some train watching, maybe some snorkeling, maybe some documentation of an old rail line. So that was definitely accomplished, as well as putting the Jasion Patrol through its paces, thoroughly through its paces, and boy, did it surprise me. No word to lie, I was expecting it to fail on not only the high-speed run of getting less than 40 miles an hour, but for the hill climb. The fact that it climbed it in Power Assist 2, yeah, it climbed it at 3-4 miles an hour, but it still climbed it. I couldn't believe it. But when you're in Power Assist 5, you're cruising up it, you're accelerating up it. So despite the battery and the motor size, it is surprisingly sufficient with its power. Great power to weight ratio, but again, you are gonna be limited on range with that power. But this thing excelled in almost every area. If I had a bigger, wider, fatter tire, you'd be able to handle some softer material a lot better without getting a little bit squirrely. But beyond that though, if you want to get into the moto e-bike riding world, this is a great option. There's a lot of other options out there, but this is good power. It's not gonna whiskey throttle it. You're not gonna be able to wheelie it, but you can either ride this slow and gentle and get a lot of range, or you can crank it up to the highest power assist level, full throttle all day, and have a decent amount of fun. Whisper quiet, no one's gonna hear you coming, not that heavy, removable battery, NFC key card, headlight for nighttime riding, has almost everything, checks most of the boxes that most people would want. Whether you're a new rider or an expert rider, you're gonna have a lot of fun on this thing. If you do want more details and the latest pricing, check the provided link down below. And big special thanks to Jasion for reaching out to me and allowing me to share the Patrol with all of you. And hopefully you know by now if this Moto e-bike is possibly the right one for you. Thanks for watching, safe riding, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.